Yep, this gave me an idea. Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's been a whole while since we've done a what if on this channel, huh? And right off the bat, I know some people might be asking, well, where are the others? Yeah, see, that's a mixture of me wanting to wait for RWBY's story to progress so I can properly plan the what ifs, feeling quite pressured to write the characters the justice that I feel they deserve, and simply just losing my funk from time to time. Although that last one has a lot to do with stuff going on in my personal life. Though my drive to doing these has been reinvigorated a little thanks to Marvel's What If series, or just revisiting what if stories by the likes of Moscow X. But anyway, one what if I've seen a lot in the RWBY fandom is the idea of what if Blake stayed at the end of Volume 3. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure how I felt about that. I don't know, it just seemed a little, I just wanted there to be a little more to it. But then we got Blake's death battle against Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan. And thanks to that scene where Blake loses her arm, that got me thinking, what if, at the end of Volume 3, it wasn't Yang who lost an arm, but it was Blake? I mean, will this change up the story at all? Well, I think so, in ways that people might not expect. So, let's begin. What if Blake lost an arm instead? Our scenario starts at the Battle of Beacon. Penny has just been killed, Cinder's message has been broadcasted, and the White Fang and Grimm are attacking the school. Amongst all of this, we get Weiss and Blake's team up. They split off to go and fight separate targets, which leads to Blake finding Adam about to stab a random student. Much like in the original, she stops him, and he gets the better of her, much to my dismay. He looks down at her and tells her, "I will make it my mission to destroy everything you love." The two of them hear someone calling for Blake. It's Yang. Adam takes one look at the expression on Blake's face and says, "Starting with her." He stabs Blake right in the gut, which makes her cry out in pain, getting Yang's attention, and she is pissed. Here's where we start to differentiate from what we know. Blake knows exactly what Adam's trying to do here. She knows his Moonslice move all too well. She's seen it hurt and kill too many people. And she knows Yang very well too, and what she's about to do. Uh-oh. Now Blake has to do something, otherwise Adam's just gonna hurt one of the people she cares about the most. As Yang screams, "Get away from her," and leaps at Adam to attack, he prepares his Moonslice. Blake summons as much strength as she can, just after being stabbed, and throws herself into Yang as a means to push her out of the way. Now she successfully saves Yang, but loses an arm in the process. Specifically her left arm, the same one that she lost in the death battle. The two girls hit the ground. Blake, clutching what remains of her left arm, is screaming in absolute agony right now. And Yang gets up to see what has just happened. Adam looks down at Blake. "Why must you hurt me, Blake?" Well, at least you won't get in the way this time. Now, if you thought Yang was angry before, she's absolutely fuming right now. But as much as she wants to beat the absolute tar out of this guy, Blake is right there, in agony from the stab wound and having just lost an arm. Yeah, I think we can all agree that Yang would prioritize getting her to safety first. Yang needs to get her help as fast as possible. She channels all of her rage into punching the ground, sending so much debris and rubble straight at Adam. Amidst the chaos, Yang grabs Blake, and they get the heck out of there whilst Blake slips into unconsciousness. Now RWBY arrives back from her ordeal on the Atlas ship to see everything that's just happened. After reuniting with Weiss, she's met with the sight of an unconscious Blake, missing her left arm, with bloodied bandages around her stomach. And right next to her, holding her remaining right hand, is Yang, in tears, only able to say to our unconscious partner, "I'm sorry." Now, it's at this point Yang kind of starts blaming herself for what happened to Blake. And she keeps running the scenario in her head so many times. Like, maybe if she got to the courtyard that little bit faster, she could have found her before this happened. They could have fought Adam together. Or if she hadn't just run in without thinking, maybe Blake wouldn't have had to do what she did. Yeah, Yang's a little overwhelmed with guilt right now. Now, while this is going on, Sun points out that the Wyvern is still circling the school, and Nora mentions that Jean and Pura are still missing. Ruby and Weiss say they're going to find them, and Yang is a little conflicted here. She doesn't want to leave Blake's side right now, but if she stayed and something happened to Ruby and Weiss as well, she doesn't even know if she could bear the thought. So she knows what she has to do. She tells Sun to look after Blake as she goes and helps the rest of her team. And from here, the Battle of Beacon does play out more or less like it did in the original. So we'll skip ahead to when Ruby wakes up back in her childhood room, and Tai tells her what happened to the school. But this time, Yang enters the room and gives Ruby the biggest bear hug she can, just out of relief that she's okay. And as a nice little callback to the very first episode, could bring back Ruby saying, "Please stop," due to a mix of Yang hugging a bit too hard and the fact that Ruby does her all over. Now, Ruby asks Yang what happened to everyone else. Yang tells Ruby that Pura is gone, and Weiss has been taken back to Atlas by her father. As for Blake, she's gonna be alright, but it's gonna take a while to get used to things. Now, of course, Ruby's saddened, just like in the original, but that's when Yang adds, "When you're feeling better, come and see Blake. She's just in the next room." Wait, Blake's here? See, after the fall of Beacon, Yang insisted that Blake stay with them for a while. There was the idea of sending her home to Menagerie, but that's a long trip, especially after all the injuries that Blake had just sustained. So, yeah, it was kind of for the best that she stay with Tai, Yang, and Ruby right now. Yang leaves the room to go and check on Blake, and Tai, albeit reluctantly, leaves the room when Crow asks for a private conversation between him and Ruby. And that plays out just about the same. Once Ruby's feeling up to it, she does indeed go into the next room and sees Yang tending to an injured Blake, who she hugs and is relieved to see that she's okay. So there we go, at the end of Volume 3, Blake is still around. Now, if you're wondering if she does want to leave like she did in the original, well, yeah, she does. Now, of course, she's grateful to Yang, Tai, and Ruby for giving her a place to stay, but she can't help but feel that her mere presence is just putting them in danger. Adam's words are kinda going through her head constantly. Oh, and the nightmares don't help. Yeah, remember those nightmares that Yang had in Volume 4? Yeah, Blake has those in this timeline too. Just reliving the moment when she finds Adam at Beacon, losing her arm, Adam vowing that he will destroy everything and everyone she loves, and the image of Adam attacking her friends. Yeah, there are plenty of nights where she wakes up screaming. But thankfully, Yang's always quick to be there for her. Now, all this going on does make Blake want to leave all the more, and that comes to a foot when Sun visits. Wait, Sun visits? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, he cares about Blake too, and he's got some time before his team want to head to Haven, so why not check in on her? Now, during said visit, when Yang leaves Blake's room, I don't know, probably to refresh tea or something, Blake confesses her plan to leave to Sun and asks for his help. Does he aid her in this? No. He refuses, saying she needs to focus on getting better right now. And he also tells Blake, I know you think you're being selfless right now, but you're not. Yeah, that guy almost hurt Yang, but she'd throw herself at him again if it meant protecting you. And I can promise that me, Ruby, and Weiss would all say the same. You can make your own choices, sure, but you don't get to make ours. When your friends fight for you, it's because we want to. So stop pushing us out. It hurts more than anything the bad guys could do to us. You know, that speech that he gave her in Volume 4. He's right, Blake. Says Yang, who came back and heard everything. Blake sees the looks in both Yang's and Sun's faces. She takes a moment to reconsider everything. She rethinks to herself, what if the White Fang find her like this? Would she be able to even do much? And are they really in danger here? I mean, the house is in a very secluded and quiet location. It's unlikely anybody would come here. She might be safer than she first thought. And Blake realizes just how awful she's being right now. She looks at both of them and apologizes, especially to Yang. Yang walks to her bedside and kneels down to eye level. Just please, focus on getting better, okay? Blake nods and says that she's staying put. And the two hug. And it's not long before Sun announces that he's going to Haven with the rest of his team. Wait, Sun's leaving? Well, yeah. The point of his visits was to make sure that Blake is okay. He knows that she is, and she's in very, very good care. So, it honestly makes sense for him to reunite with his team a bit sooner in this timeline. Now, we'll see Sun again, don't worry about that. In fact, him going with his team to Haven might have an effect on other parts of the timeline. So with the knowledge and assurance that Blake is okay, Sun leaves to go off to Haven. Now, I should mention, while Blake does decide to stay, it's not a matter of, oh, everything's good, I'm fine now. No, it's more of a gradual thing. Blake becoming more relaxed and more comfortable with her new surroundings. Though it is sped up a bit thanks to Yang, RWBY, and Tai. Heck, during all of this, she's actually bonded a little with Tai. He's taken a bit of a liking to her. And heck, even Zwei helps out from time to time. Just by resting his head on her lap. There's a little way to tell her that he's there for her too. So, yeah, we get more moments like this. And isn't that just wonderful? And sure enough, the time does come for RWBY to leave with Jean, Ren, and Nora. Now, the idea does come up of RWBY asking Blake and Yang if they would like to accompany her, but given Blake's condition, it's not a good idea. And Yang wouldn't want to leave Blake on her own right now. So we actually get a goodbye scene between the two sisters as RWBY sneaks out. Now, real quick, for these what-ifs, I do primarily go with what the show tells us, and not any retcons that supporting material might give. Though I do still like to add a few elements from them here and there. So, yeah, just thought I'd clear that out. And for those questioning, would Yang even let RWBY leave at all? Well, she knows that this is important, and she also knows that RWBY is more than capable in a fight. Not to mention, she's got Jean, Ren, and Nora with her. So, yeah, she's gonna be fine. Though, sure enough, Blake does ask Yang if she's really sure it's a good idea to just let RWBY go. That's when Yang reveals to Blake her plan to have their Uncle Crow just keep a watchful eye over her. Now, as time passes, news starts to spread that the White Fang have ceased activity in the Kingdom of Vale. Now, this definitely helps Blake relax a lot more. And of course, with Blake feeling better, she wants to do a little more, like help out around the house. I mean, Tai's been so great putting her up like this. She has to do something, right? And sure enough, one day, Tai does ask Blake about her family as a way to get to know her a little better. Now, Blake does become a little quiet about this, because it's been a long time since she's seen her parents. Now, Tai does understand, but this gives him an idea. Over in Menagerie, Gira and Carly Belladonna receive a letter from Tai about Blake. Real quick, for anyone who was wondering, how could Tai send a letter to Blake's parents? One, it's the only way to get communication going with global communications down, due to the fall of Beacon. Two, I'm pretty sure knowledge of, who's the head of a country would be publicly available. So I'm pretty sure Tai would be able to find out who Blake's family are, and put two and two together. Anyway. We learned from Volume 4 that they knew Blake was at Beacon, and they heard about the fall of it. They've been waiting all this time, worried sick, just hoping that she's okay. They waste no time in reading that letter. Now, of course, they're absolutely horrified to know that she lost an arm, but are relieved that she is ultimately okay right now. As they read the letter, they recognize the name, Xiao Long. That's the name of one of the girls that she was fighting alongside with in the tournament. Remember, that was being broadcasted worldwide. So it's safe to assume that she's with friends. So what comes of this letter? Well, Tai does add that he's inviting them to Patch, to come and stay for a while. Which Gira and Kali waste no time doing. And I know Gira is the head of a country and there's a lot to sort out, but I'm sure he has close and trusted people that can manage it for just a little while he's gone. I mean, this is his long-lost daughter after all. Like, he's gonna prioritize that. So the Belladonna parents set off to Patch to go and see their long-lost daughter after all this time. And as they leave, two hooded figures watch their ship go. Having learnt about the purpose of their trip, shall we inform Brother Adam? Yes, brother. And we shall inform Sister Ilya of her new mission. And that's where we're going to leave things for right now. Yeah, let me know what you think of this story. I'm really excited to share some of the thoughts and ideas I've had about this, like, after all this time. I have some stuff I'm really excited about the possibility of with certain characters. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Right, so, thanks for watching all that stuff, and considering who this what if is about, here's my Blake outro. Bye.
This is Blake Belladonna with Your Only Mate saying like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.